Hello, my name is Braden Darrell. I'm 19. I have visual impairment, autism, and ADHD. Despite being 19, I am still in high school. I'm currently taking English 3-2, Math 3-2, and Social Studies 3-2, although I do take some extra courses on the side that aren't part of high school. Outside of school, I play hockey for the Seeing Ice Dogs, and I go skateboarding with the Skate Bats. In elementary school, I often did school on the TV using my dad's PlayStation. I'm homeschooled, and my specific version of homeschooling is called distance learning. I'd have DVDs, I put them in the PS3, and I could do the courses on the TV. And then I had the textbooks and assignments. The text was big enough I could read with just a magnifier, and I also had this clear yellow sheet that I could put on the page, and it would help me for reading or just extra contrast on the page if I needed it. Over time, the font sizes did get smaller and the courses were more online, so I ended up having a computer, but there were still some days I used the TV with that. When I went to the website, there was some text-based stuff, but a lot of it was still video. With that, I needed headphones. However, I had wired headphones a lot of the time, and I cannot tell you how many pairs I broke because I would go to move and I didn't realize the cord was there, and when I would move, I would snap the cord. In middle school is when math really started to give me trouble because it, out of all the courses, was the hardest to see, with exponents and fractions making the fonts really small. Because of this, I would often actually take pictures of the textbook itself, and I would have to send them to my computer or zoom in on the tablet I was using. The website also started giving me trouble as the quizzes were still online at this point, so the math equations were done with pictures because they assumed you could read the pictures. I have to use the crop tool, and I can just take the picture there, put it in Microsoft Paint, and I paste it in there and make it bigger, and I even get like a little whiteboard out of it, so I guess it works out that way too. In middle school, the program I was using, Bob Jones University, would no longer align with the diploma, so if I wanted to get a diploma, I'd have to switch programs. During the start of high school is when I started another program called ADLC, or Alberta Distance Learning Center. However, it was by this point that it wasn't just math giving me trouble, and I was having to take pictures and scan almost all of my textbooks. But I did find some online later on, but a lot of the time I still needed to have it taking pictures. This only got worse, I'd say, as the years progressed, and now, to this day, all of my courses, books are in PDF format, which I have on my computer, except for math, and that is only because the textbook itself, I can't find it online. ADLC did shut down midway through me taking high school, so I did have to switch programs. The programs I used after ADLC were T4T, Solaro, and other sources based on specific courses I took. T4T, it was older, so it had its issues with the tools it had, or sometimes the website didn't work right, but overall it was mostly text. T4T did have one massive issue, and that was with my font size. Up until now, I haven't needed to mention it because it hasn't been an issue. I could have my pages and everything be massive. I could blow them up as big as I need, and everything would still be formatted correctly, except for in T4T. For example, there's these boxes, and when you hover over them, they could give you extra information or tips on how to do a certain step of a math equation. But they wouldn't always do that. You could hover over them and they would show the text, but oftentimes with my font size, it would mess up, either appearing off screen or just not being readable. Math, once again, being the main issue here with calculators. My friends have calculators that can speak to them. However, I don't have that because I don't have funding. So a lot of the tools I have, my family pays for out of pocket. The text-to-speech part of the calculator is pretty expensive. Because of this, and at this point I do actually have my own personal tablet and phone, the phone I have paid for myself, that I can use in order to have calculator, or for the recording. We found like an app that pretty much is exactly like the calculator, down to the buttons. So I use that. It's not the best solution, of course. Like, I would have preferred if I could have used the calculator speaking in order to do my exams, because it's a lot easier to get exceptions for things and say, oh yeah, you can use this on your diploma exam, or you can use this just on your final test or anything you need, instead of having to say, hey, can we use this device, this app, and all of this. It becomes a hassle. All in all, I've had issues with schooling at all of the grade levels, but I just figure out ways to get around them a lot of the time. Whether it be asking for different tools or working with even companies themselves. Like, for example, I actually messaged Adobe on Twitter the other day on how to make the documents be read out loud, because I thought it would be a good feature to have, and turns out they already had it. I just didn't see the menu where it was. Like, go figure, you know, visually impaired. I could not see the option, but it's good to know it was there, and some teams like Adobe were actually really quick to respond. With that, also, thank you for watching this video and listening to me, and also for coming to the summit.